Alright, now let's use what we know about order of operations to work these next few problems. First of all, we have 4 plus 2 times 6 minus 2. Well, remember, order of operations is parentheses and grouping symbols, then exponents, then multiplication and division, then addition and subtraction. So we're going to do our parentheses here first. 6 minus 2 would be 4. And I'm going to recopy everything else. Now we've got addition and multiplication left. So I'm going to do the multiplication as my next step. So 2 times 4 would be 8, and I'm going to recopy everything else. 4 plus 8 would be 12. So our final answer here is 12. Now looking at the next problem, we have 5 minus a negative 7. And all of that is being divided by 4. Now notice I said all of that is being divided by 4. This numerator actually acts like a grouping symbol. It needs to be done before we can do the divide by 4. So looking at this, we have parentheses here on the top, but there's nothing to do inside the parentheses. So as we back out, we have minus a negative. Well, if you'll remember, minus a negative is the same thing as positive. So this is really 5 plus 7 divided by 4. Now we can continue with our grouping symbol, basically, our numerator here. 5 plus 7 would be 12. And when we divide that by 4, that would give us 3. So this problem, simplified using the proper order of operations, would be 3. Let's look at the next problem here. This one is a little bit more complicated. We have a lot more stuff going on here. Actually, we have our outside here. I don't know if you can really see that or not. These are bars here on the outside, which means that the whole entire thing is in the absolute value bar. Well, absolute value bars act like grouping symbols, so we have to do what's inside there first. Well, that's great and fine, but there's a ton of stuff inside there to do. Also, if you'll notice, inside there we have brackets. Our brackets are another grouping symbol. Anytime you have a grouping symbol within a grouping symbol, you always work your way from the inside to the outside. So what we're going to do first is work inside this bracket here. Now notice we've got a multiplication and a multiplication. We can do those actually both at the same time. We can say the absolute value of 4, and then going to put the bracket there just to keep that going. And then 2 times 5 would be 10, and negative 3 times 4 would be a negative 12. Now I'm just recopying everything else, and I'm using colors so that hopefully it'll look a little bit more understandable. Now, within the grouping symbol here, the brackets in this case, we have something again that we can do. We can do 10 minus 12, which is a negative 2. Now this time I am going to go ahead though and leave the brackets, because in this case it means a multiplication. So let's go ahead and do that. Now within the absolute value we have to do 4 times negative 2, which is negative 8. And we still have those absolute value bars on the outside. Now the absolute value of negative 8 is a positive 8. Remember, the absolute value means how far from 0 is negative 8. Well, that would be 8 units, so our answer would be 8.